before we go over the lab, I want to go over some couple things as far as wireless goes. I'm still running the WEP. It's actually WPA crack, so it's going to take a little longer. I started about an hour ago. It's still going. I'll let you know the results of it. I'll give you some screenshots and everything. I'm using a program on the Mac side called Kismac, right up on the board. There's actually a Windows version called Kismet, Kismac, and then the Windows version is actually a Linux version. What the Kismac does is it gloms onto your gloms onto the Mac wireless card, Wi-Fi card, and it runs it in passive mode, looking for all SSIDs, and then once it finds the SSID, it then looks at the hash file for that SSID, and then begins attempting to crack the SSID, whether it be for WEP or WPA. Okay. Kismac. The other one we'll look at right now in just a second is Netstumbler. Netstumbler is a free Windows app. It doesn't crack passwords, but it is a nice tool to see available Wi-Fi's within the area, especially if you're in a business that you have you know, maybe you suspect rogue Wi-Fi access points. You can run Netstumbler. So let me run it real quick to show you what it looks like. As you can see, it's building all the access points that, or all the signals basically that are in this area. You'll notice right now RBC key 2 is only one of the signals that actually has a broadcasting SSID. The rest of them does not have a broadcasting SSID. So there's a lot of devices around here that you'll notice, if I click on this column, these are WEP-enabled devices. Okay? Now if I go even further now, yep, mostly on one. So web connection, it does have a speed, which is all 54. Okay, you'll notice this Android AP. Somebody's just started that one. Okay, cool. I can start mine as well in this environment. Let me start one on my phone. And if you have one, if you have the ability to do that on your phone, you can do that right now and just kind of see what it does. I've got to get access here real quick. So what this is doing, as you can see, is gathering information. But what you can do is you can actually grab onto or stop it altogether. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. And then I can take this and save this file as a Netstumbler file, and then take it back later to break apart the file. I can export it as a Wi-Fi scan text or summary. If I do a Wi-Fi scan, I go to my desktop, and just type in test real quick. Okay. This basically gives a breakdown of all of the devices that were connected, along with SSIDs and MAC addresses, and also IP addresses would be in here. Because you can actually load this file. You can come in here and go File, Open, and go to my desktop and load that file. And the one I had clicked on was Android and the RBC key. Okay. And I can actually look up the hexadecimal key for this one, or the MAC address driver. It'll actually show me where it's manufactured at. that, well, it will on the access point, but not on your phone. It won't on your phone because it's not going to recognize it probably. So I'm going to go ahead and run mine again here real quick and see if I can get mine going. Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to go ahead and turn mine on real quick here. Should say WiMAX, I think. Should be coming up here before too long. There it is. WiMAX, and it's WEP enabled. Okay. Now, that's one tool. The next tool is you can download called Aircrack, which sometimes takes some time, but I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. It's a Windows device as well. And these are all in the lab folder, by the way. Okay, this WZ Cook file program here, if I double click on that, it's going to start up and look for any WPA, WEP keys on this machine, and then save it to a WEP key file directory or WEP key file. That file can actually be brought into like Cane Enable, and because it's hexadecimal key here, so let me highlight this hexadecimal key. I'll highlight that and just show you. It might not work for us right now, but I'm going to show you how it works. Go here to the cracker here, go down to web connection. Then I can right click on this and do a dictionary attack. Let's do a brute force. Okay, so what it's doing with that file I just imported is it's going through and doing a brute force attack on that file I just imported. And again, that could take a while depending on the length of the password on the device. Brute force is going to start lowercase a through z, lowercase or uppercase a through z. Then it's going to do numbers and letters, numbers, letters, characters. So I'll let that run while we're talking about it. So that's one way to do it is through air. Do what now?
I just time left, say years.
What now? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Let me pull that up real quick. Yeah. That's forever basically. It basically tells you come back in about 2 or 3 days, which could happen easily. But you know, like I said earlier this semester, they'll grab whatever data they can get, the hackers will, and then you know, let it run, and if it gets stuff, great. If it doesn't, they'll go on to the next adventure. But in our week 6, I believe it is, I've got all this stuff down here under Crack WEP. Netstumbler is one we already talked about, Aircracker. This one actually, I did not download on my machine. Let me go ahead and download that one to show you what that one looks like. It basically downloads all, it should download all the files like you see here, but in a little easier install package, I think. There we go. Yeah, I think it has all this stuff you want to uncheck. It tries to install these toolbars and stuff. I think it's going to basically give you everything that's in the folder I downloaded already. Because if you go to Aircrack, just Google Aircrack. There, it's got everything in it basically that I've already downloaded. The other one's a GUI interface. It's Aircrack NG GUI. You can go out and grab a WEP file that maybe you've captured. And it has to have a NIC card connected to it, which I don't right now. But you capture that, you basically capture that file, and you'll notice Well, if I go back to, let's say, air dump.
So you're effectively taking an encrypted packet.
Yeah.
And you're trying different passwords until you get viable data.
Exactly, that's what it's doing. Let me put this here again. Run this one more time. There you go. And, so let's see how this is going. Yeah, it's going to take forever, but that's normal. Whoa. Well. So that's the tools. Netstumbler is one tool. Aircrack's the next tool. And here's a website for that. It has the source files for Windows and Linux, I believe. And it does have pretty good documentation over here. You know, anything you read up on air cracking, it says, you know, you got to have hours of time to play with it normally, which is it's, you know, usual, especially for WPA. But it does have nice documentation here. If I click support, it has a tutorial in here. We go there. Yeah, here it is. Video tutorials actually on how to crack using WEP, WPA, and you just run those videos and do what it says, and you know, it can be successful or not be successful, basically, depending on your network and depending on how difficult the passwords are that you're capturing. But Netstumbler you can get, everyone can get that as a PC. Costs absolutely nothing. It's great for, you know, seeing the traffic around your area. You can run this if you have a laptop. You can run it in your car and drive from here to home. It'll keep track of your captured information, and then it builds a library over here under SSIDs. Okay, it builds a library as you go along. Like this one, you can see it's been ran multiple times, because what you can see is a history of that SSID if there's been any changes. Okay. There you go. That's a good one. When you click on this link here, it actually gives you, if you have GPS on your device, on your laptop, it'll actually give you GPS coordinates of where that access point was found as you were driving along. Okay. Netstumbler is available, I believe, for Droids, and they do have a there's actually an iPhone one as well, but your phone has to be jailbroken for it to work. Trying to think, I had one here that I might have taken off. Let me look here real quick. Yeah, I think I took off mine. It was just a network app to see, kind of like Wireshark, basically. So it's worth getting. Netstumbler is definitely it's probably one of the most widely used for war driving, because as you can see, you can tell from a snapshot. You can, you know, sort by, say, let's see, we want to sort by encryption. Okay, so we know these are the ones we're going to try first to crack, because WEP's much easier to crack than WEP or WPA. And so that's it. That's the actual tools used to crack WEP and WPA. Once mine's successful on my Mac, I'll tell you how long it took for it. It's a 8-character password on WPA, so it might take a while, but I'll let it run till it's done. So I think last semester I did a WEP one. I think I told you it was 5 characters, and it only took, I don't know, 2 minutes or something, at that long. And so cool stuff. There's always new stuff coming out. The other one I'll mention, and I'll be handing out this CD or DVD next week, is Backtrack. We'll be running that and looking at some of the tools on that. I do want to go to that website real quick I've mentioned Backtrack before, I believe, and I want to show you the website for that. I mean, you can download this yourself, but I'm going to go and download it, burn it for everybody. This is penetration testing for built on Linux. You boot it from the DVD. It can also be booted. They have a new thumb drive edition that just came out with. It's a 6-step process, real easy. You plug in your USB drive, format it to FAT32, download this Ubuntu creation for creating a bootable USB. You select the final ISO that you downloaded for Backtrack, and then select the USB drive, and then it gives you the root, and Tor is the username password. And so they do have a USB bootable one as well. And as far as tools go for this one, they have a lot of how-tos, they have a lot of images, but like if you go to the how-to, tons of instructions on how to install it to hard disk, dual boot, USB, persistent USB, VMware. VMware is actually probably the ones I'd recommend because you're not installing it on your hard drive. It's going to be on a virtual drive, if that makes sense. And it not going to hurt your computer at all. And it runs a little faster on VMware than running it from the DVD. Because when you run it from the DVD, it literally takes minutes to start up because it uses your computer's memory, and that's it. It's not going to use any of your hard drive resources to run, so it might take a little bit. It does take a little bit to boot up because of that. But it goes over some cool tutorials, like one of the ones we're talking about tonight, on going over, let's see, exploits for Wi-Fi. Let's go down to that. Here we go, password cracking guide. This goes over a guide of how to crack passwords. It goes over all of the tools available in Backtrack. It gives all the change sets that they put in there. It's got tons of software. I think there's something like over 1,500 pieces of software is in this, is on this DVD. It's crazy. And they keep adding to it as well, all the time. Okay, so I'll pass that out next week, and we'll have fun with that. And you can just keep it with you as all your other software and run it when you want to run it. And you know, when you eject it from your DVD, it's done. Okay. Next is the Lab 6.4 IE security settings. We're going to go over that now. Basically, this lab shows how to set the security options within IE. We're going to, for this one, you're basically going to set up what's called custom trust zones. And the end result of the lab is it's supposed to show you how to block such things as file downloads from websites. The one note I wanted to give you before you begin on this, because it's pretty straightforward, is if I go to IE on my computer right now, we've upgraded our versions here, and go to Tools, Internet Options, and you guys have to go over to the Security tab. Down here at the bottom where it says Custom Level, you've got high, medium, and medium. Let me make sure that's updated. Yeah, high, medium, medium. Okay, so that is updated. What you're going to do basically is on this page here, there's all the columns. The second page, if you'll flip over on that second page on your handout, that says compare these default values. You're just going to put an X. You're going to put an X in the area. So if I set this to high, okay, or medium high or medium, if I go set to high, click OK, or right here, set to high, and then go over here to the custom level. I now should be able to see all the options it changes on high. I'd hit reset. Okay, so there's high. Notice it disables XML, or XAML is what it's called, which is a Windows programming web plugin. It disables .NET permissions for all programs. And so like on yours where it says run .NET components not signed, right here where it says on high, on the medium, on the high column, you would put basically, if you can run it, let's go ahead and let's do this. Let's go ahead because you're going to be disabled or enabled. So for the column, if it's enabled, we'll put a check by it or an X in there. Check or X, either one in the box. So for run.NET components not signed on high, it's disabled, so I'm going to leave it blank. The only time you're going to put a check in a box is if it's enabled. Make sense? Okay. So you'll go down and you'll check. You'll literally go through, and if something's enabled on high, so that's the first one. Run.NET component signed is the next one, which is this one right here. Run component signed. Automatic prompting of ActiveX controls is down in here. Okay. And there it is right there. It's disabled, so I'll leave that one blank. So most of these on high is going to be blank because it's going to be disabled for most of these. Make sense? And then you'll change it from high, if you look on the overhead, to medium. Click reset, say yes, start back up the top and go over again. Okay? So you'll do that for all the settings on number 4 and number 5. And then basically we'll have some fun on the 3rd page, which will go in and block. We'll go to cnet.com. We're going to block cnet.com from any type of downloads. And CNET, if you didn't know, is the owner of download.com. Okay, so if you go to download.com to download anything, CNET's the owner of that. It's the root site of download. So by telling security, hey, this site's restricted, well, you'll see what happens if you try to download something. All right, and then once we're through restricting the site, then I want you to go in and set everything back the way it was originally. And then we'll talk about the analysis, and then we'll end with the gpedit.msc I told you about on Tuesday, the group policy editor. Okay? So go ahead and do that. It won't take that long, hopefully, to go through and check all those just to see what's available for high, medium, and medium-low for security setting. Most of you probably never ever played with these settings, and it's good to know what they mean and what they will do or not do to your computer if they're enabled or disabled. Okay, so we'll go over that after we're through there. Well, it should be just like mine. It should be exactly what's on the column, which is you should have available to you high, and medium. Those 3 columns, right?
Oh. On the paper, we have medium low, medium high.
Yeah, that's why I was asking what you guys have on the 2nd column.
And on the paper, it's medium low, medium high, and then the reset to is medium high.
Yeah, we want it to be
So medium would go medium low.
medium, right. Okay. Medium would be medium low, correct. Yep, we'll do that. So medium's medium low, medium high is actually medium.
Internet store, well.
Yes. Some of these really don't matter, but there are some I do want to cover after you guys get through that really can matter security-wise to your computer if they're enabled. Because most businesses still do use IE as a default web browser, and that's going to be that way for a while. How's everybody doing? Done? Do what?
Couldn't get a hold of my mom, so.
Ah,
Place fixing her struts to make sure that she actually can't pick it up.
gotcha.
I don't know, not wait around if you can. Because they were gonna wait like an hour extra to get there. But apparently she hasn't charged her phone. I couldn't get a hold of her at work earlier, so.
Uh-oh.
But she did pick it up. So when it gives you that exponential value for years in how long it can take to come back, is that for cycling through all possible passwords?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Effectively, yeah, if they have a password that's 100 characters long with symbols,
Mm-hmm.
it takes that long, but it's not quite.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, generally not going to take that long, but it could.
Have you ever seen How Secure Is My Password.net?
What now?
How Secure Is My Password.net?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a while since I've been there. It's a pretty cool site.
They made their JavaScript a little bit harder to read, but I was having fun with it this morning.
You want to connect to G10 Conkle?
With my phone?
Yeah, doesn't matter. Yeah. Anybody else have a Wi-Fi device you can connect to Wi-Fi? Okay. When you're if you would connect to G10 Conkle. I believe it's 1 through 8 is the password. Yeah, 1 through 8. Go ahead and connect to it, and go ahead and do some browsing real quick. 1 through 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need to get some traffic on it. The more traffic you have on the Wi-Fi that's trying to be cracked, the better.
Yep.
The more data comes through.
You just gave me an IP address. You mind if I eat up a couple of your Mac and speed test?
No, go for it. We'll let that sit there. Okay. All right, wherever you're at with your list, go ahead and stop. I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead here, and we're going to go right to the section on your sheet. And you guys can keep your phone connected to the Wi-Fi because it'll, we're going to go right to the page where it says placing a website in restricted zone. We'll do that together, okay? Go ahead and flip to your handout to that page. Okay. Basically what we're going to do on here is go again to Tools, Internet Options, Security, and Restricted Sites. Okay? So again, Tools, Internet Options, Security, Restricted Sites. There's a button that says Sites. Click on the Sites button. You're going to type in here www.cnet.com. Click Add. If you already had a website in there, you might have download.cnet.com, possibly. Do you guys have that in there? Okay, that's fine. You can just do cnet.com works. We might have to put the asterisk in there later. We'll see what this says. www.cnet.com. Go ahead and hit close. And you want to go ahead and click OK. And let's go to download.com to see if we see anything happen when we try to download any file. Just go to download.com to try to download any file whatsoever. It is a restricted site. We'll see what that means when you set it to restricted. Yeah, it's going to for right now.
Oh yeah, that's right, because it didn't actually block it.
Nope. It's not blocking anything, so let's go ahead and download Windows software.
I couldn't see any real differences between medium and medium low.
You should be able to actually go to that site. Now what I want you to do is go and download some stuff. You should be able to. Go back to Security, Restricted Sites. Now we'll add, you should be in download.cnet.com, should be in that zone because we're on that page right now. Click OK, apply it. Now I'll try to download something from that site, see if there's any difference. Now make sure you don't click on an ad for another site because that, you know, you can do that. You can download stuff from other sites, but this site we should see in just a second. Go to try to download anything in here. In fact, a lot of this stuff is probably going to try to hide. Okay, if you notice on mine, see where it says restricted? That's what it should look like. Down here on the bottom right where it says restricted. When I try to download anything, it doesn't matter what it is. You'll notice it's giving me restricted for all the downloads I try to do. And you'll also notice some funky things with the website itself. It doesn't look like it's loading right. And again, what you've got to do is you have to make sure that your Internet Options, Security, and Sites is set like mine. I have download.com, download.cnet.com, and www.cnet.com. I believe we also could do this. We could do, I believe, asterisk.cnet.com should do it as well by itself, I think. Let me see if that's true. And I'll shut down Internet Explorer, restart it. Sometimes you have to shut down Internet Explorer and restart it to get these rules to apply. Now let's see if that works. Yeah, it's looking funny. It's not letting me. You should see right when it's getting ready to download, this little eye will click on. If you double click on it, you'll notice the little eye on the overhead. Notice how it says blocked on everything that it's trying to do. on that website.